Good morning. Welcome to my weekly gameplay stream. I'm going to continue in the theme of playing single or co-op card/board games, but on solo. Today we're going to be having a look at One Deck Dungeon. Game came out probably about a year or so ago. I think it went to Kickstarter first, can't remember. Yeah, it's published by Asmadi Games, not Asmadi. This is it. Tiny box, that's all you get. One Deck Dungeon. So, quite a basic setup. We are going to be choosing our player. We have the archetypes of a paladin, warrior, mage, rogue and archer, and in a refreshing change you may pick up on the fact all of the characters are female and they're all appropriately dressed. Makes a change, doesn't it? So for this game I'm going to pick the archer. The cards have a 1-player or a 2-player side with different stats depending on whether you're playing solo or not. So I have an archer. She has her stats down here. She has 2 attack dice. She has 3 agility dice, 2 magic dice, and she has 5 health. She has a heroic feat. We can spend 2 time to roll 2 black dice or 4 time to roll 3 black dice. That's called Eagle Eye. And she has a once per round ability of, if you would lose a health, you can spend a time instead. And we can also prevent a health loss in a boss fight. So on the subject of boss fights, the game comes with 5 different dungeons to explore. We have the Dragon's Cave. You probably can't make it out on the stream because my camera quality is not brilliant. There's a little dot there that shows that the Dragon's Cave is pretty easy, right the way up to the Lich's Tomb and the Minotaur Maze, which are 3. Okay, for the purposes of this demo we're going to do the easy one, and it's not that easy, but it's what they call easy anyway. So this is the Dragon's Cave. We have to fight our way through 3 levels, 3 floors of the dungeon, and then when we get to the other end we have to fight the dragon itself. Okay, so we place our chosen dungeon there. We cover it up like that to show that we are currently on the first floor. We have some tracking here to show what level we're playing at the moment. We upgrade our characters as we play. And then as we go through the dungeon, we'll be encountering 4 rooms at a time. And within the dungeon are 2 types of encounters. We have a combat encounter where we have to defeat a creature, and we have a trap encounter. These stats on the right hand side effectively are what dice you need to roll to be able to complete that encounter. So to defeat this ice elemental we need to roll 11 to cover those multiple squares there, 3 on a single dice to cover there, and they are both the yellow dice. The printing there makes it look a bit of a muddy green, but they are the yellows. And then we have to roll 3 blue dice, a 6, at least a 6, a 5 and a 4. So 3 6s could cover that as an example. Once you have defeated a trap or an encounter, you then have 3 choices of what to do with it to try and improve your situation. We can slot it into our character like so to increase the number of dice we have available, or maybe our health in this instance. We can slot it here like this to give us an extra ability, or we can use the 4 icons along the top here as XP. We could slot it there. We need 6 XP to level up. That gives us 4. So I love that. I love the sort of modular nature where you can chop and choose the design, the layout, I really like it. It makes it really simple and easy to follow. So since we've already seen what's on those 2 cards, I'm going to pop those back into the deck and give it a bit of a shuffle. And I'll put all 4 back. This deck of cards represents the rooms we'll be exploring, but it also represents time. So we have a certain amount of time before we have to move down to the next level. So we can either spend it running away, in which case we will get to the level probably unprepared for the things we're facing, or we can try and defeat whatever we encounter to increase our stats, to level up, etc. We have this set of stairs that leads you down to the next level, so that always goes at the bottom of the encounter deck. It might not be called an encounter deck, I might be using my Arkham Horror terminology, but there you go. Right, we're on level 1. We can carry at most 1 item and have 2 skills. We are allowed 1 potion during setup, so these little white cubes represent potions. So at any point we can use a potion. So I forgot, that's also another location you can slot your defeated enemies. If they have a potion, they could go here to give you extra types of potion you can use throughout your adventure. So, as I say, I've chosen the archer. She seems pretty well rounded. 2 attack, 3 evade, 2 magic, and she has 5 health. So, everything is laid out on this turn reference card that teaches you how to work your way through the dungeon. You flip it over when we get to the boss fight at the end. So, turn reference: at the start of each turn, spend 2 time. You spend time by just discarding a card. So we spend 2 time by discarding 2 cards. So some cards will force you to spend time to defeat the trap or the encounter or whatever, so you could find yourself getting through the encounter deck much more quickly than you anticipated. So our first choice is to either explore or enter a room. We have no rooms on display, so we will explore. So we just deal 4 rooms face down. You may notice I'm playing with a deck where the cards are slightly miscut. The developer has been kind enough to send me a replacement deck. I've just not swapped them out yet. Okay, so that's that round done, that turn done. There's nothing else we can do. We've explored, we've found 4 rooms. So next turn, time passes. 1, 2. So now we can choose to enter a room. So we can choose which of these 4 doors we want to encounter. I'm going to pick this one. And it is a trap. It is a spiked log. So we have a choice of 2 ways we can encounter. We can deal with this trap. We can clobber the logs by using our fight skills, or we can dodge the logs by using our evade skills. We would need to roll 8 using only our yellow dice, or we'd need to roll 14 using only our pink dice. If we chose to do the assault option, we would also have to spend 2 time as well, because it says it up here. I think I probably stand a better chance of rolling 8 in 2 yellow dice than 14 in 3 red dice. So I'm going to go for the yellows. So we simply roll our dice, and I've rolled the worst possible result. Okay, so the symbols printed on here are the penalty for failing that encounter. I lose 3 health and 1 time. So 1 time passes because I wasted my time dealing with it, and I lose 3 health. These cute little wooden hearts. Okay, but that room is now dealt with. You either defeat it or you take the consequences, but it is dealt with now. I can increase my agility. I can have cleave ability, which will increase my yellow up to 4 of my yellow dice by 1 each, or I could take 3 XP. The benefit of XP is when you level up, it starts to provide you with these black dice, which are effectively wild cards that you can use for any colour. So I'm going to put this towards levelling up. So that's 3 out of my 6 XP. So that's that turn complete. I am going to use my potion now. I have one during setup. Heal 3 damage from a hero at the start of a turn, or 2 damage anytime. So there, I've used my potion, I am back to full health. So next turn, 2 time passes. No, I played it wrong already. While we are on a level, we have to complete these as well as what is on the card that we've revealed. So I should have also put 2 of any dice on this square. Because this has a green shield icon on it, you have to do that before you do anything that's not got a shield icon on it. It makes no difference, I couldn't do any of it anyway, and it doesn't actually change my penalty. This side is the trap, this side is the combat encounter, so it depends on the type. However, Hall of Statues, it does stay there, spend an extra 5 time before your first turn on each floor, so I should have discarded 5 cards at the beginning. Okay, back on track now I think. Second turn, discard 2. Or third turn should I say. And I'm going to investigate this, and how we have an ogre to fight. So when it's a combat, you roll all of your dice. I don't have any bonus dice to roll into it, so let's see what we can do. And I've got to remember I have this dice to deal with over here as well. So I've rolled not very, oh dear, this is very bad. As you can see, he's worth 4 XP, so he's going to be quite a tough dude. I have a measly 5 in yellow, and I need at least 6, and then a 9 and a 12. And this guy is going to do an awful lot of damage to me. On my evade, I need a 6, so that's that one covered. I need a 4, so that's that one covered. I can't cover that middle one. What you can also do is you can exchange 2 dice for a black dice that matches the lower value of the 2. So as an example here, I could exchange this 4 and a 5, or this 4 and a 4 for what difference it makes, and exchange those for a black 4. And a black die you can put on any colour. So that would give me at least this first dice covered. This this could actually be a really short demo, because if I don't deal with this, I am going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, and I've only got 5 health. 13-minute stream, and I'm dead. Well, let's just unpick that, just in case there's something else I could do. I'll reset that and put those back. I can choose not to deal with that 4, because that 4 is only going to give me, would cost me time to resolve. I know I need to do the 6. We'll do what we can there. I'm not sure I can do anything about that 5. I could choose to focus on these rather than the pink. Throw the pinks. So if I scrap the 2 pinks, the 4s to get a black 4, and I'll scrap that blue 4 and 5 to get another black 4. What does that give me? That gives me 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I could put all of those into this bottom one, which is doing me 3 damage, or is preventing 3 damage. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So maximum of 13. I can't stop the 6 and 9, so I think I have to put all 4 of those into the 12. Just to clarify, the rectangular boxes you can put as many dice as you want into, the square boxes are 1 dice only. So if I put those into there, I am now taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. It's still killing me. It's just exactly killing me rather than over killing me. So there you go, that's my very brief introduction in how to play One Day Dungeon. And I can't believe it was over quite so quickly. It was over so quickly, I think I'm going to start again. To hopefully give you a little bit more of a taste of how it can play out once you start upgrading yourself and increasing your stats. I might pick a different character perhaps. And I'll throw the cards all over the table while I'm trying to shuffle. It says 30-minute game on the box. Didn't say 13-minute game, did it? I'm sticking with the Dragon's Cave because that's allegedly the easiest. Oh, got another encounter card there. I didn't put away. I'm gonna switch to the warrior, I think. You watch. I won't be having any combat challenges this time. Just a knee-jerk reaction. So I'm good with fighting, not so good with magic, but I've got a bit more health, so I might be able to withstand a bit more. So let's try and get the rules straight this time. Hall of Statues, spend an extra 5 time before your first turn on each floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we do the normal, spend 2 time to start a turn, and we will do some exploring. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next turn, 2 time passes. We will explore this one. It's a boulder. I can choose to either get past it using my magic skills. I can roll an 11 with 1 dice. I don't think that's going to happen. Or I can use my 2 pink dice to try and run past it. If I fail, I take 4 damage and lose 1 time. I can't roll 14 with 2 pink dice either, so I don't even know why I'm even picking that up. So maybe I'll go with the blue then. I'll take 3 damage because there's no way I can roll 11 with 1 dice. 1, 2, 3, and it costs me 3 time to try and slow time, and then 2 time for failing it. Okay, and I shall, this time I'm going to add this here to give myself an extra health and an extra magic dice. Which is probably what I should have done last time, actually increase my dice from the beginning. Okay, next turn, 2 time passes. I will explore. Let's go top left. It's a fire elemental. So, flames. Before the encounter, place a damage on the hero. Okay, so I'm now at 4 damage. Out of 7. I need to roll a 6, a 3, and then another 11 in blue. And I need to roll a 6 and a 3 in pink. But because this is a combat encounter, I get to roll everything. So there's options for me to use my other dice. So what have we got? We'll put the yellow out of the way for now because they're no use at this stage. 5 and a 2 in pink. That's not enough for either of those. I can put... Right, first of all, I've got an encounter over here, so I need to commit 3 dice, 3 damage on a single dice over here. So the lowest yellow I've got is a that defeats that is a 5, so I have to commit the 5 there. I don't have any 6s I can put to use, so I shall put the 5 there on the time, on the 3. I have a 2 4s in the blue, so can I... 8. No, I'm struggling here. This isn't good, is it? I can use the 4 there to stop time passing, but I'm going to say I use that potion to heal 3 before this. Otherwise, this is another very poor demo. Okay, so I am going to exchange. Not really worth exchanging anything, is it? Or is it? I can exchange those 2, 2 and a 2 to provide a black 2. Don't know whether that's going to come any useful or not at all either. I can exchange those 2, a 6 and a 2, for another black 2, but that still only gives me a maximum of 8 to use. So I can't block that 11. I can block one of those 6s. Oh no, I can't block one of those 6s because I have to do it in a single dice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. 4 damage. And 1, 2, 3 time. 1, 2, 3. But that's at least that's that encounter dealt with. Get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 and 2. And I'm looking a bit poorly now. Again, strange sense of deja vu. So I'm gonna use this to up my skills again, just to give myself an extra health. So that gives me an extra pink dice as well. So I'm now on 4, 3 and 2 dice wise. Okay, next turn. Time passes. 2, 1, 2. Ideally I want to start levelling up because that'll provide me with a new potion. Let's see this bottom left door. Flame statues. So I can use blue to disenchant the flaming statues. It will cost me 3 time to attempt that spell, or I can just dodge them. 14 with 3 pink dice. With 3 pink dice, or 8 with 2 blue dice. I don't have any options for re-rolling dice. I'm going to go for the 2 blue, I think. I think I stand a slightly better chance of rolling 8 in 2 rather than 14 in 3. Or do I? 3 6s are 18, 2 6s are 12, they're both 4 short. I think pink is the better chance, isn't it? My basic maths is failing me. Right, let's go for it. 3 pink dice. 10. Failed. Dead, I think. So that's 3 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 damage. I'm dead. The game's not usually this hard. I won it on my first play. But anyway, I think you've probably seen enough of me trying to fail. Trying to fail? With me actually failing. I don't have to try. I'm very good at failing. But hopefully that gives you a taste of One Deck Dungeon. There is also a standalone sequel, One Deck Dungeon Forest something, I think it's called. Forest of Shadows. So that is basically another standalone set, but you could then combine them to make a 4-player game, rather than it being 1 or 2 player only, which it is at present. So there you go, we hardly even made it halfway through the first floor, twice. I suppose that's the downside of a game where everything is pretty much down to the roll of the dice. But yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that epic failure. See you again next weekend.